Welcome to Impact Hour. It's time to talk about two very specific things. How can you identify your ideal client? The person that you want to spend most of your time with, the person that you want to dedicate most of your resources and your energy and your focus and your attention to. And we're going to talk about why this idea of having a pinpointed ideal client and the importance of it for your business and your brand. And we're also going to talk about the big question that I'm asked all the time, which is, how do you know which social media platform to choose? There's so many of them. How do you choose one platform and go all in on one platform? Because that is the secret. Just to give you a little tip now, it's important to go all in one place. And I'm going to talk to you about why in just a few minutes. Those are the big problems that we'll be solving today. Be sure to leave your comments so I can flash them on the screen so we can talk about specifically what you want to know. And as always, this is the Be Better broadcast. So be sure to share this with one friend, one coach, consultant, business person, salesperson who could use this advice. Share it with one friend. You're the reason that this show has grown the way that it has over the last 8 to 9 months. Actually, I think a little bit longer than that. We're coming up on a year with the broadcast, met so many incredible people, talked to so many incredible guests. I'm just absolutely honored to have had the opportunity. And this show, this segment specifically of Impact Hour, is to help those coaches, consultants, and salespeople out there, the ones with the big message, the ones who want to make a grandiose difference on the world in a very positive way. Listen, I'm one of you. And when I started on this journey, I made a lot of different mistakes as a coach consultant, spending a lot of time on the things that I shouldn't have spent time on. And I want to help you to avoid those same mistakes. Joseph Gonzalez, what's up, brother? Great to have you here. Thanks so much for joining, man. Great to see your profile picture bright and early at 10:03 a.m. And I love the 4 exclamation points, man. You and I are kindred spirits. That is a fact. I want to help those coaches and consultants make traction with their business and their brand, because this might hurt to hear, but this was me in 2019 and 2020. You might have an incredible message. You might have great products. You might have a great coaching package, or you're planning on creating a great coaching package, but you're not going to make money in your business if you don't know how to package and sell what it is you have. Selling is the key component to your success in business. Sales is the lifeblood of your business. But Brandon, I just want to coach people, Brandon. I just want to help people. How am I expected to sell to people if all I want to do is help them? Listen, I completely get it. You might not have grown up in sales. I grew up in sales, right? And you might be thinking that sales is this sleazy thing, pushing something onto someone else. But real sales is nothing like that. Real sales is service. Real sales is making a difference in the lives of other people. Gregory Youngblood, what's up, Gregory? Great to have you here, my friend. You've got a message. You've got something you want to share. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thanks so much for joining. Knowing how to sell your offer comes before the website. It comes before the business card. It comes before the LinkedIn About section. Well, maybe that can come first. It comes before everything. Because if you're not making money, then how can you do the rest of it? If you're not making money, then you're constantly going to be thinking about where the next dollar is going to come from. Or you might be blessed to have a job that you love while you're building the coaching business, which is incredible, because that was the situation that I was in. But you still need to sell your products and services. Otherwise, what you have is a hobby. If you're not able to talk, create relationships, and sell what it is you have to offer, whether it's to B2B, to corporations, companies, teams, or to a specific client that you want to serve, then your business is simply a hobby. And I didn't know this when I first started. So there's 2 very specific things I want to talk to you about today: identifying your ideal client and which social media platform is the best one for you to use at any stage in your journey. Catherine, it's awesome to have you here. Nice to see you doing your thing. Well, it's great to see you here as I do my thing. So thanks so much for joining. Let's jump right into it. Guys, I want you to throw in the comments whatever thoughts, observations, questions, anything you have as we go through this, because I want to talk specifically about what it is you need help with. This isn't a broadcast if it's just me, right? Joseph says, what's up? I need your help, brother. Hey, man, you and I help each other. I'll help you however I can. Let's jump right into it. Let's talk about your ideal client. I specifically want to give you a 3-step process to pinpoint exactly who your ideal client is, because there's a giant misperception in the world of coaching and consulting and any service person or any small business who's marketing a product, which is the same thing that I used to think. I have a message, a purpose, a service, a product, and I want to share it with the world. I want to give it to the most people as possible, help most people create a positive change in their life. So I went out there and I did that, right? I'm just making the videos, I'm making the blog posts, I'm talking to everybody, I'm talking to mothers, I'm talking to business people, I'm talking to anybody, random people going down the street, people from all different careers, industries, styles of life. But I made no traction. People liked it, right? People were like, wow, Brandon, I really love what you're talking about with goal setting and achievement and sales and creating goals and everything that has to do with personal development. And I appreciate you telling me about it. But I had no paying clients, because when you say that you want to help everybody, you are in effect helping nobody. Identifying your ideal client is so important because, guys, there are literally over 8 billion people in the world. Even if there was 1 billion people in the world, even if you could only help 0.0000001% of that population, you are making a hell of a difference on the world just by serving that small percentage of the population. If you take anything from this video, and I'm going to share with you 3 specific ways to do this, but if you take anything away, it is dive deep into one type of person that you want to serve. And we're going to talk about why that is so important as we go through this. But at the beginning, I targeted everyone. I was on every platform. I made all these different types of posts, but I failed to identify, who am I? Step number 1 to identifying your target client and your ideal client is, who are you? What are your values? What are your beliefs? What kind of person are you? Especially if you're going to be working with people one-on-one. You want to be working with people who share common values, common beliefs, who share maybe common interests. Like, it's okay if you like coffee and they don't like coffee, or if they're a dog person but you're a cat person, it doesn't mean you have to hate the person. It's okay to have small differences, but when it comes to the big things, the big rocks, the beliefs, the morals, the ethics, it's important that you're talking to people who are like you, because number 1, people who buy from you are generally people who can relate to you and people who trust you. And they're going to trust you if your morals and your values are very similar. But when I ask you, who are you? I'm also asking you, where were you just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago? If you have a product or a message or a service that you want to help people with, I'm going to take a guess and say that it's most likely because you went through something in your life or your business, and you want to help other people shortcut their journey. You want to help other people do the same thing that you were able to do. And I see this most of the time with life coaches. You went through a tumultuous journey. You learned many things. You took away new learnings and new teachings, and you want to help other people either avoid some of the things you encountered, or you want to help them overcome some of the pain and the struggles that you encountered in your own life. So who were you at the beginning of that journey? Me personally, when I started my personal development journey, I was 21. I was doing well in sales. I was overweight, though. I was very unhappy. I was anxious. I was depressed. And I found the world of personal development. And I started to make changes, first with my mindset, then my physical body, and then my finances, my relationships, and then finally my spirituality. So I took this specific journey, which I now label as the 5 Ps, with the people and the clients that I worked with. So I love helping people who were in a similar place as me, but this is the only problem with that. You have to find people who are like you, but you also have to find people who are going to be able to pay you for your services. Asking the question of, does it make money, is a very important question. It shouldn't be the first question, but nonetheless, it's a very important question. Does it make money? The niche that I'm in, the way that I'm helping people. As an example, if you're a life coach who talks about how to help people develop unstoppable confidence in their life, and you needed to develop unstoppable confidence when you were a student in high school because you wanted to ask the girl out, the guy out, try out for the sports team, whatever it may be, your ideal client probably won't be a 17-year-old, right? Unless your product is like a book or something like that. If you're a coach offering services, then the 17-year-old's probably not going to be able to pay you, right? I'm sure a lot of them are making money on TikTok now, so that might be a little bit different. But you have to find people who are actually able and willing to pay you. So maybe instead of focusing on 17-year-old you can instead focus on people who have the second part of this equation, the problem that you are solving. So if you're helping people develop unstoppable confidence, if you're helping people become more motivated, if you're helping people to lose weight, and that's the problem that they have, they want to lose weight, they've struggled up until this point, they don't know how. What about focusing on an executive in a company? What about focusing on someone who has worked for the same business for 5 years? They're probably doing okay financially, okay enough to pay you for what it is you're offering. So step one is identifying who you are. Go back to your journey, because realistically, you're going to be helping people who are simply 2 to 3 steps behind where you are now. You only need to be 1 step ahead of somebody in order to offer them advice. Like, I'm not a millionaire. Okay. I will be in the future. It's inevitable based on the trajectory, but I'm not a millionaire, so I can't teach you how to make $1 million. But what I can show you is how to identify your client, create and package an offer to solve their problem, and find and sell to that client. And again, selling is serving. And I can show you how to do that. And I can show you how to make 6 figures doing that, because that's what I've been able to do myself. Right. So I know who I'm targeting. I know who my ideal client is. I don't promise things I can't deliver, but I'm also very clear on what is the problem that I'm solving and who has that specific problem that I need to solve. And by the way, some of your people, some of your ideal clients, they're going to know that they have this problem. But a good percentage of them, they don't even know that this problem exists in their life yet. As an example, somebody who is extremely overweight. I was overweight for 2 years before I realized, wow, being fat is actually inhibiting my energy and my ability to do things. And it's actually hurting my confidence. So it wasn't a known problem until it was a known problem. And that's where your content strategy comes into play. But we're not talking about that today. We're simply talking about how to find your ideal client. So number 1, who are you? Find people like you. Number 2, what problem are you solving? And step number 3, before I tell you what it is, let's look at our comment section. Ronald Hunt, great to have you here, my friend. Would it be LinkedIn? I think you're talking about which platform is the best. It all depends. It all depends on who you are. It all depends on who you're serving. We're going to get there, Ronald. Thanks for joining, brother. Joseph, how do you monetize your efforts? Number 1, identify your ideal client. Number 2, what's the problem that they have that you can solve? Is it a problem they know they have, or are they not quite sure that they have the problem? In which case, it's going to be necessary to build a relationship in order to confront the fact that they do have a problem currently. Know, like, and trust? Absolutely. Go in the comments, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what areas you want to focus on specifically right now when it comes to your ideal client, when it comes to what platform is best for you. Because step number 3 is to work with different people. Step number 3 is to work with many different kinds of people in order to identify who your ideal client is. And step number 3 is really important, especially if, number 1, obviously you're not sure who your ideal client is, but it's really important because you might have an ideal client out there, but you just don't know it because you haven't worked with that type of person yet. I was specifically helping salespeople on sales teams for the longest time. And then I started to coach life coaches, and I started to coach other people who struggled with sales, because we're all selling across every industry in our relationships, in our personal life. We're all selling. And I realized, wow, new life coaches are exactly where I was in 2019. They have an offer. They might have an idea of who they want to help, but they're not sure how to actually sell that service. But I wasn't sure that newer life coaches or life coaches with a product or an offer would be my ideal client until I started actually working with them. And I quickly realized, wow, I really enjoy our coaching conversations. I really enjoy bringing them through the same process that worked for me, because it's now working for other people at the same time. So sometimes you have to test different audiences and different types of people to truly define who is your ideal client and what is the best way for you to serve them and to solve their problem. So before we take a 30-second break, step number 1 again was, who were you? Target the people who were like you. Step number 2, what's the problem you solve? Identify the problem you solve. That's number 1. What's the result you bring people, the solution, and what's the problem that beckons that solution? That's number 2. And number 3 is simply to work with different people and see who you enjoy having conversations with. See who you enjoy the coaching sessions with. See who you enjoy having this intimate business relationship with, and then seek out more people like that. Because plus, by that time, you'll be able to ask that ideal client, hey, what did you like best about working with me? What are the day-to-day problems that you're experiencing? How else can I help you to solve these problems? It's going to give you market research that you can then use to help other people. So that's how you identify your ideal client. And after we get back from this very, very quick 30-second break, we're going to talk about which social media platform is the best for you to focus on in 2022. I'll see you in 30 seconds. Welcome back to Impact Hour, where we're talking about how to identify your ideal client, which we just discussed. We dove deep into the 3 steps, and we got some incredible engagement. If you're in the chat box, if you're here, go in that chat box. Let me know you're here. Give me some excitement. Give me some energy. Give me something, because now we're going to be talking about what is the best social media platform for you to focus on in 2022 to grow your business, to grow your brand, to find more clients, to amass a following, to amass an audience, whatever your goal is. There's so many different types of social media platforms. So how can you possibly focus on just one of them? Well, here's the first key to success when it comes to choosing a social media platform that works best for you. Any of them will work. Yes, that's the key. Any of them will work for you when you're able to pick one. You have to pick one social media platform that works for you. Otherwise, you're going to become okay at all the different platforms, and that's it. Rather than becoming an expert in one platform and taking it and running from there. I think of someone, her name is Dina Kalikovic, and she is a copywriter, and she focuses solely on LinkedIn. I know someone else, Aaron Doty, his name is, and he's huge on YouTube. You should absolutely go check him out. He speaks on mindfulness and awakening your consciousness. Aaron's not on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. He focuses solely on YouTube. And once you begin to amass a following, once you begin to fill up your client roster, and it's time to branch out and expand and maybe even bring people onto your social media team in the future, if that's even a goal for you, then it's time to branch out to the different platforms. So the number one key of this entire talk is you have to pick one platform that you can put all of your focus and all of your energy into. Now, the key word is focus. Because I'm not saying to not have a profile on each of these platforms. As a coach, consultant, small business owner, anyone looking to build a brand, it's important that you have a profile set up on each of these platforms. It's important that you have a Facebook page, that you have an Instagram, that you've even created a TikTok, maybe even if you're not doing the fun dance videos. It's important that you have a LinkedIn, and it's important that you fill them out, that you do the about section, you fill out the tagline, the headline, the page, the description, whatever it is, because people are going to end up there, and they're going to comment, and they're going to post, and they're going to message you. And also, you want to reserve your name, and you want to reserve your handle, depending on the platform. So be on the platforms, but only focus on one of the platforms. Because I remember when I started my branding journey, I said branding really weird. I remember when I started my branding journey in 2019, I was literally everywhere. I was on Facebook, I was on YouTube, I was kind of on LinkedIn, but I was mostly on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And I was wondering why I was seeing no growth. It's because I was spending an extra 2 hours each day just reposting on the other platforms and focusing on the other platforms. And by focusing on all the different platforms, in effect, none of them grew. I only started to grow once I picked one platform to focus on, which was YouTube. And I'll tell you why I chose YouTube in a bit. And I'll tell you how you can choose the one platform that you want to pour all of your focus into. And once I started focusing solely on YouTube, and I started posting consistently, and I started engaging with my audience, and I started utilizing the different strategies like every social media platform has, I started to get leads. I started to build a network. I started to finally get clients after about 1 year of being on YouTube. Yes, it can be a slow burn depending on the strategy you go with. It's a long game, right? Business is a long game. You can get short-term results, but it's about what is going to happen for you long-term. And what you're doing today will determine what happens for you long-term. And it's important when choosing a social media platform to know the outcome of the content that you are posting on that platform. At the very beginning for me, my only outcome was I just want to post content and make videos that help people. And that's awesome. But that also means that it wasn't a business. I didn't have a business mindset at that time. My business changed when I went from I just want to post videos just to help people to I want to post videos, help a very specific type of person, my ideal client, my quote unquote avatar, as you might hear it described. And I also want to help this person at a deeper level by bringing them from my video into having a conversation with me. Because in that conversation, I can offer them a deeper level of attention and service. And that, my friends, is called sales. But at the very beginning, just getting started and choosing the platform is very important because it's where you're going to be spending all your time. So be sure that you're choosing a platform that you're going to enjoy spending your time on. The next tip I have for you to choosing the best platform is exactly what I just said. Which social media platform do you truly enjoy spending your time on? Ask yourself this question. Which platform am I constantly scrolling through every single day? Are you scrolling through Instagram? Are you scrolling through Facebook? Are you looking through LinkedIn and responding or just consuming content? Are you on YouTube watching video after video after video? Well, whatever platform you're on the most, you're already the most comfortable with. Realistically, if your client or your ideal avatar is like you, they're probably also going to be spending time on that platform. But which one do you most enjoy? But you also have to ask yourself, where is my client spending their time? So if you're helping people and they're in they're middle-aged people, they're people who are, between the ages of 50 and 60, or maybe they're elderly, they're past 70. And by the way, elderly doesn't mean that these are obviously they're older people, but I've met people in their 70s and their 80s who have more energy than people in their 30s and sometimes even their 20s. So it's simply just a number, but are you looking to reach people who are in that older demographic, 60, 70, 80, maybe even 90 years old, depending on what your service and content and product is aligned with? And if that's the case, if you're targeting older people, then they're going to be on Facebook. If you're targeting business professionals or other service providers, they're probably going to be on LinkedIn. If you're targeting people who like to watch more long form content, like longer videos, then they're going to be on YouTube. It all depends on where is your client spending most of their time. I put a lot of attention into my Instagram at the very, very beginning, and it was a mistake because the person I was looking to target, sales teams and corporations, they weren't using Instagram, or they were, but they weren't consuming that kind of content on Instagram. So I went all in on LinkedIn to target sales professionals, corporations, and companies. And now, again, like I mentioned before, life coaches and other people who have a message or product they want to share, but they need help packaging and actually selling that service to bring in revenue so they can continue building the business. So where is your ideal client hanging out? Because that's going to be a big part of what platform you're going to choose for yourself. I personally chose YouTube at the beginning because YouTube is what made the most profound impact on my life when I was going through my own personal development journey. I would watch videos from Tony Robbins. I would watch videos from Jim Rohn and I would consume it and I would use it and I would do it. And I listened to them on the way to work. This is really before podcasts were like a giant thing about 6-7 years ago. And it really changed my life. And that's why I chose YouTube to reach one of my audiences. And now I use LinkedIn to reach the other form of those audiences. So I've branched off because I've built my YouTube to a point where it's running automatically for me for the most part. But at the very beginning, choose one platform. If you take anything away from this conversation, choose one platform. Pour all of your time into it. And please, please stay consistent. Post consistently, whether it's once a week or what I'd recommend at least twice a week. And once you really start to become comfortable 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week, all the way up to, can you upload 7 days a week? It's possible. For me, I started with 1 day a week and then 2 days a week. And then after I brought someone onto my team, it became 5 days a week. And now it's become 7 days a week. So it depends on your platform. It depends on what your objective and your outcome is. But based on this, which platform are you going to choose? Go in the comments. Let me know what platform makes the most sense for you, because I'm really curious to hear that. And I hope that this advice on finding your ideal client and choosing the social media platform of your choice in 2022 helps you significantly. Let's make this the best year yet. Let's go out there. Let's make it happen. Thank you so much for tuning in to Impact Hour. If you took away any value from this conversation, then please share this show with one person who could use it. Thank you so much for watching. And until we talk again next time, continue to be better.